Opinions expressed on this show or any episodes are not the opinions of CTV staff. This show is for information purposes only, for entertainment purposes only. You're watching The You Show, theyouShow@hotmail.com.
Island Advance. Thank you very much for coming. This is lovely. And thanks, small group. Thank you, Joan, the manager at Barnes & Noble. And I just want to introduce a lovely, lovely TV personality who, and every time I heard from Staten Islanders, oh my gosh, Carla Hall is coming to Staten Island. Oh my goodness. The thing that they remember about Carla is the fact that when she was competing early in her career on Top Chef, she was always so calm, but always very competitive. Right. And she's got this really lovely demeanor about herself. Earlier, Carla and I were talking, and we were speaking about her cookbook, and how when she writes, she's actually speaking to you, and I can forget that as well. But I'd love you to meet Carla yourselves, and here she is, Carla. Oh, you're so polite. Staten Island. I've been waiting. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. I've been waiting to come here. Hi, y'all. Hey, that's so pretty. Hi. Look at you. Wait, one. You're the only man. Oh, what's up? You're a not chopped liver. I remember Ted. Ted. All right. Good to see you guys.
Oh, good to see you. Yes, I watch you every day.
All right. Yeah. Well, in any case, thank you so much for coming, and we are not everything that you see on Mob Wives. I haven't seen that show. Good. I haven't seen that. I'm not that we're in New Jersey. I haven't seen that one. The other one? No, I'm glad actually. Actually, before Carla got here, she stopped at Brothers Pizza, which is pretty exciting.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I got.
Did you get the grandma pie, the grandma slice?
Wait, which one is that?
Oh, you didn't get that one?
Wait, is that something you need to know if you're in?
If you go to Brothers, yeah.
If you're in, I mean, is it like off the menu where you know to order it?
No.
Oh. Well, what's grandma's?
What did you get?
I got the Sicilian slice, the square.
Uh-huh.
And then I got a spinach calzone.
Very good.
Do I have to go back to get grandma's?
It might be worth the trip. Maybe the next time.
Did you use a knife
Yeah,
or
did
fork
you use
with
a
your
knife or
pizza?
fork?
I did.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. My first piece was with the knife and fork. I have a witness who knows that I actually ended up picking up my calzone.
Oh,
Like,
but that's a calzone. I mean, you know, you gotta eat the pizza right.
even the square one?
Yeah, oh, especially square.
Oh, dang, I gotta
That's
go
so
back.
easy. You gotta go back.
I have to go back tonight.
There you go, on the way back.
I did it so wrong. Sorry.
So that's all right. That was
Such a southerner. You know, tell me about pizza too in your travels, because I'm sure you've experienced different varieties. So I have. You know, there's the thin crust, of course. There is
because I'm getting
the New
all
York
heads
style
in my
pizza. I mean, I kid you not, they're like this. And the pie must be this big. And one slice will do you. One slice is probably the equivalent of probably 2.5 pieces of your big pies. But one moment that I remember, and when you talk, this book is about traveling and about food memories or comfort foods in other places. I was in Milan. I was modeling. A friend had gone there with me, and we went to this little, we didn't have a lot of money, so we went to this little place where you're picking up pizza through a window of a building from the sidewalk. And we decided to share this slice of pizza, and it was a big square piece that you probably should not have had with a knife and fork. And I'm sure then I didn't. I don't know how I got highfalutin and just went for that knife and fork. And the guy, we said, we're going to share it, could you cut it in half? And he takes these shears out and he cuts it.
Wow.
Real life. That is so cool. And I remember it was just crust, the sweetest but tangiest sauce, but not too much, and cheese. And it was so perfect. It was so perfect. And I remember us taking a bite and looking at each other, and we giggled. Like, right? You know when you get that giggle when you eat something that's so delicious, and that was in Milan. It was so good. Actually, Carla is a former fashion model, and you were in
accounting major at Howard University.
Yeah, I was an accounting major at Howard University, worked for Pricewaterhouse, got my CPA, hated it, did not care how much time I spent learning the stuff, and didn't care about a paycheck, and I left, and I didn't want to model, but it was a bridge between what I didn't want to do and what I eventually wanted to do, and I had no idea what that was, and I was all for figuring it out. But fortunately for me, I had a family that said, it's your job to be happy. You've done everything that we wanted you to do, so it's your job to be happy and go figure it out. So they were there to kind of support me. And my sister would say that she didn't get that opportunity because she was just working her way, but she got married early, she was a teacher, so she always felt like she was in like the throes of things. But now her kids are grown and she and her husband have all the freedom in the world. I did the freedom and then I got married at 42 and I don't have any kids, I have a cat. Yeah, only. Yes, a morning show. I have to get up around 6:30. Fortunately I live pretty close to the studio, so I'm about 5 minutes away, 10 minutes on the west side, upper west side. And so I get up about 6:15 is drop dead time that I get up and I have to be there at 6:30. They do my makeup, they do my hair. But that's really the latest that I have to get up. So I generally like to wake up before the Quaker Oats girl, they just don't know yet. And then I have a smoothie at work. They will take an order. So I have this big bowl of oatmeal only to have my stomach ready for all the food that we taste and chew. And it's so funny because people are like, did you eat? I mean, you're always eating, but I'm so excited about the food that is on the table. And Clinton turned to me, probably the end of season 2. He said, Carla, this is a talk show, and we're here to talk. Stop eating so much. Because I was digging in, and I forgot, and my mouth would be full of food, and I'm like,
I read that you gained like 30 pounds.
I gained 20 pounds. I gained 20 pounds the first 3 months I was in that show. It was crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I want this show to succeed. If I'm going to gain 20 pounds every 3 months, it's crazy. Yeah. But so I do all of that, and I make it a point to just little things. I don't work out like a fiend. I work out only 1 day a week. I make it a point to. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. Don't hate me. And it's jeans. I was in that line. I wasn't in the breast line. I was in the other line.
The man in the room.
So I take the train a lot. I walk. A person who walks up the steps, if there's steps. But there's that one train station, I think it's the 6 train, it's around 50 something, and I'm like, why isn't anybody taking the steps? I'd never been in this train, this stop before. Why isn't anyone taking the steps? And I see everybody just lined up. It's a long line for the escalator. I'm like, seriously? And I had this bag. I just left the train station, and so I have a suitcase and another bag, and I'm taking the steps. And I start walking up, and I'm like, oh shoot, it's like 6 flights of steps. But you can't get off because you've already committed. And then as soon as I thought about getting off, this lady is like going down the escalator, Carla, hi! And you're like, hi, how are you? Like, oh, don't talk to me. And I'm like, whew, I'm fine. You don't want to, you're embarrassed to really act like you're winded. Even thinking about it, I'm winded. Anyway, so I try to really do little things like that to help, if I don't get a chance to work out. They're just little things that hopefully make a difference.
That's neat. That's a caloric job.
Yeah.
But on the show, I'm curious with the personalities. I mean, do you really get along?
We
with
really get
Carla
along.
and-
We're friends with all the spouses. We do things outside of work. We're really friends. I've been with Matthew to vacation in Cleveland with Michael. I've been to Michigan with Mario. We stayed a few days. I've been to Clinton's place in Miami. We're friends. We're friends, and which is why we can tease each other a lot, because we're really friends.
That's really good. I mean, that you can tell the, you can
Nice to work with.
It's nice, it's great.
Yeah.
The other thing is, in terms of the show and everything else, I know you guys are always eating and everything else.
Always.
Do you have a favorite restaurant in Manhattan? Like, do you go to Vitali's restaurant?
I've been to probably each of these restaurants once. Some of my favorite places, again, you know how you get into your little neighborhood and you don't leave, 'cause you know, and I eat out a lot because I have meetings and people say, oh, let's go somewhere and let's eat out. So, I mean, there are those, but, Sugar and Plum, which is in my neighborhood, Jacob's Pickles. Sugar and Plum has these really great corn dogs. Oh my God, you would totally like. Do you like corn dogs? Are you vegetarian? Little one, you. Do you like corn dogs? You know that it's a hot dog with a batter that's corn batter on a stick, and it's fried and hot and delicious, and you drag it in honey mustard sometimes. Do you like it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, this place, Sugar and Plum, has these delicious corn dogs that are so light, and I love that. They have chicken and waffles, and they make their own hot sauce. But the waffles are so good that when I first ate it, you know, you have something, again, that giggle, where it was so crispy. So they make the waffle and then they dry them out in the oven and then they hold them like that. And then when they pick up an order, they put them on the flat top and they heat them back up with butter. So it's really crisp, and on the inside it is just like tender and just crunch. And then they serve fried chicken with it with hot sauce and maple syrup. What can be bad about that? So I mean, so that's in my neighborhood. And then there's a place that's kind of southern food with fried chicken and macaroni and cheese and collard greens and pickles, and they say biscuits, pickles, and beer, and I like two of them. You know, I like beer. So.
And also, I was looking at some of the stuff that you've done over the course of your career, and just to go back a little bit. When you were in, Carla went to culinary school in Maryland, and was executive chef actually at the Washington Club, which is fancy schmancy.
Yeah, it's a fancy schmancy place. It's no longer there anymore. It closed last year, but it's a women's club, and it was second to a women's club here in New York. And it was a literary club, so the women had this program every Tuesday to celebrate other people in the literary world. And I was the chef and director. So imagine an event going on. Imagine having to cook the food, and so you're in there, but then you have to run the place. So you have to go and you have to make sure the sound is good, you have to make sure whatever, the decor, all the tables, all the guests are fine. So there was like this path running back and forth, and I remember I am in the kitchen getting ready to serve like 100 people, and somebody comes in the kitchen, Carla, our sound system is out. And I'm like, don't you have somebody for that? I'm thinking to myself, but no, I was the person for that. It was crazy. It was really crazy, but that was a really great job. I learned a lot about myself. It trained me for Top Chef.
The demeanor that you had, you were kind of a good sport, and you didn't step all over everybody. How did you kind of go into that? I mean, did you know what to expect?
I didn't even know before that how popular Top Chef was. I didn't know about the show because I was always working. My husband said, oh, hey, there's this show that I've been watching. And so he had been watching it, and you know how they play the marathon before a new season begins. So I started watching it just before season 4. So I sort of binge watched seasons 1 through 3, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool, and that was that. And then a friend said, oh, they're doing Top Chef cattle calls. You should go. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that. You're busy. I had my own business. You never have time. So, I forgot about it. So I went to work one day, and a friend said, oh, I had a dream. No, actually, it was my sous chef. She said, I had a dream you were on Top Chef. I never mentioned to her that I was looking at this show called Top Chef. And I said, oh, interesting. Okay. That night, I had a phone call saying, are you interested in being on Top Chef. Well, I thought it was a crank call because the girlfriend who told me about Top Chef, she's the one who likes those shows like Punk'd. So she would do something like that because that's how she rolls, and that's okay. So I didn't respond to the call, and then I had it on another number, and I noticed that it was, this is me being a CSI, which I love. I noticed that it was an LA number, and I looked at the time of the call, and it was Magical Elves, and I looked them up. I'm like, okay, this is real. So I decided to call them back the next day and told them the reason I didn't call them the day before, because I thought it was a crank call. And so they said, are you interested? And I said, sure, why not? Yeah, I like a challenge. So I still wasn't thinking about doing the show. I was just thinking about applying. So they sent me this application. It was 25 pages, everybody but your firstborn, and then some, and a corn dog. So I did that. I made a video, and then they said, well, can you come to New York? And I had an event that Sunday, and I needed to go to this. I'm really good about making a long story just long. You all okay? Are you all okay? Are you okay? Okay, I just want to check in, 'cause I don't want you to check out. If you get bored, you just come sit up here. Whatever you want to do. Okay. So I said I can't go to New York City, which was very easy. You take the train, you're in the city, and you have the interview, you come back, because I had an event on that Sunday. So I went to CIA, planes, trains, and automobiles. I mean, you know, you take the train, you got to take a cab, you got, you know, yada, yada, yada. So I go there, and I get there, and there is just like this group interview. And it lasted for all of 5 minutes after all of this preparation. So I had done the 25-page application. I had done the little video that I did for them. I mean, everybody was involved in helping me do this video. So I get there, and it's 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how it is. So I went back to the train station, and I called my husband. I said, oh, well, I'm coming back home. So I turned my phone off, because that was back in the time when I used to check my messages, you know. And so I turned my phone off, and I sat there for like an hour or so before the train came. I said, oh, I need to tell my husband one more thing. So I turned it back on, because I was running out of juice, so I was turning it off. So I turned the phone back on, and I had a message, and this was 20 minutes before I had to get on the train to leave. Carla, this is so-and-so. Can you come back for a second interview today? Okay. Stop the phones. Can you imagine me getting that message and I'm on the train? Stop! All right, so I go back. I called my husband and said, I'm going to miss the train. I'll take a later one. So I go back, and this interview was on tape. And then they did that, and then I went home, and then they called me a month later, said, can you come out to LA for another interview? Child, there are some interviewing people. So it was another interview, and then that was like cloak and daggers, and you know, you couldn't talk to people. Like if they knew that you were also interviewing for Top Chef, you would be like in a cubby, like over there in aisle 1. I couldn't talk to you, I couldn't look at you, I had to be like this. I mean, it was all of that, cloak and daggers. It was crazy. I mean, I could kind of understand, because they didn't. If we both made it, they didn't want us to know each other when we got on camera. You know. So so that was that. That was fun. I thought that was great. I had that experience. It was awesome. So then they called me a month later and said, Carla, we're choosing you. You've been selected to be on Top Chef. Now, you couldn't talk to anybody. I'm in a corner because I'm in this kitchen. I'm trying to get away. I'm talking like this. They're like, Carla, you've been selected to be on Top Chef. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're gonna be on Top Chef. Really? I'm sorry. I mean, at this point, I'm like, no, you don't understand. That it was really cool to actually apply, but I wasn't supposed to actually do it. I have my own business, and I have to, you know, I have to run a business now. I have to, like, quit, which means you don't make money. And anyway, but it was great. So that was the whole story. And actually, a little tidbit that most people do not know, Hosea, who won, he was an alternate. He was an alternate. Actually, the person whose place he took had sort of just decided not to do it at the last minute. Wow. Talk about the universe, isn't that right? Yeah. The universe. Wow. He was meant to do it.
And in your business, I mean, how does this work with going back to New York?
So right now, you mean right now? So right now I have a cookie company, Carla Petite Cookies. We have a line of cookies that are the size of sugar cubes, so cute. Boom. You would so love them. Sweet and savory. I have an amazing woman who runs my company. I tell people that I built my business on the backs of an amazing dishwasher and a friend who wasn't working. And those people are with me to this very day. I trust them. I couldn't do it without them. I absolutely couldn't run my company knowing that I'm up here and the company's down there. And so yeah, that's going well. I mean, going well. I still need a job to support it. Come on, let's be real. I need the chew so that I can pay their salaries. It's going. It's going.
So I can't quite picture it. It's like a storefront.
No, not a storefront. It's just a bakery. So we don't. We sell to Whole Foods, and we sell online. It's an online store, e-commerce, and then we sell to Whole Foods in the Mid-Atlantic region. And we might be coming to Fairway soon. Do they have a Fairway here?
Jersey.
Jersey. Okay, Jersey. So our cookies may be coming to Fairway soon, and we're just plugging away. I mean, to the point, I'm talking like shoestrings and just plugging along. I would get asked to do an appearance, and I was like, how much is it? And I would say, okay, that's a mixer. I mean, everything that I did, I would turn it into my business. I would like take the money, thank you, and I would give it over here. Thank you, and I would give it over here. So I remember when I got my first big mixer, and then my first sheeter, and everything has kind of been like that. If I believe in it, I just keep plugging along, no matter how little I have. I'm like the last scene in the Terminator movie. That arm is going like this. Yeah.
And then your book. This is why you're here. And I have to say that my husband and I have actually heard several things from the book. Our stove is broken. Otherwise, I would have brought samples of potato soup.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure we told you
sorry.
would have gotten samples if the stove wasn't broken.
My apologies.
It's a life story.
It's the thought. Feel the thought. Taste the thought.
The recipes are beautiful. They
Thank
really are very nice.
you.
And
Thank you.
They're easy. They're from all over. And you talk about peas too a lot, which is interesting.
I love peas.
Can't
I
hear
love.
you.
Oh,
Here in the back.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear you. Sorry, I'm not used to being like in front of. Used to being behind the desk.
So she was saying that talk about the book. You love peas, and I do. I love peas. My love for peas came from. And am I being too loud, like Tennessee loud right now? Okay, good, because I don't, here from Tennessee, they talk so loud. A segue, my husband is from Michigan, and I can't hear them. I go to his house and I'm like this. I'm like, I can't hear anybody. I have to read lips. I love peas. My mom used to make a meatloaf. One of the 5 things that she would make, meatloaf. And then she would make mashed potatoes, and then she would push those canned peas with butter into my potatoes. And I absolutely loved it. I just loved it. And because peas are sweet. I mean, it's one of those vegetables, peas and carrots, that kids love. And I love peas and carrots. So this very day, I love peas. All of my friends know I love peas. So when I did the tarragon peas for Jacques Pepin on Top Chef, it was the last meal challenge. And I was so excited to get that. I'm like, I get to make peas! And cook for Jacques Pepin. No. But it was brilliant. So that's where the love comes from. It's a food memory from when I was a kid.
And there's one last thing I want to ask before everybody in a moment. I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
She's gonna turn it over to y'all. All right.
Where did you get your personality from?
Why am I crazy?
No, you're not.
She didn't say that. So my personality, and some people may know this, some people may not know this. I majored in accounting, but I really wanted to major in theater. And I did theater from 12 to 17. I know you can't even imagine. And but before that, I was painfully shy. I was painfully shy, and my mother said, all right, we're gonna put you in theater, and I think that will help. I think it was maybe a friend of a friend said that her child was shy, and they put them in theater. And so I did theater, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are my people. I mean, it was as if something broke open inside of me, and it was okay that I was weird, you know, not weird, but awkward, because you were taught to use what you had inside, and you were taught to like make funny faces in the mirror, which I was already doing by myself, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I did children's theater, and I wanted to go to Boston University and didn't get accepted, and then I decided to major in accounting, as you do. But I think a lot of it comes from that, and in the formative years, just being comfortable with who I am, and I'm all about letting you see me fall. If I fall, it's like I'm gonna laugh with you as I get up, and yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to turn it over to these guys.
Okay. Yours, thank you.
My grandchildren are very ingrained in you because my 3-year-old grandson knows that, or he asks me every day after lunch to put on Little Einstein, and I tell him no. We watch the Chew.
Oh my gosh, your best enemies. No little Einstein.
No.
Watch the Chew in this house at 1 o'clock.
That's right. So he sits with me and watches the Chew. And I have another granddaughter who she was with me one day, and what do you do with a 14-year-old granddaughter?
Right.
I said, how about, I said, I found this recipe by Carla Hall in People's Magazine, the crinkle cut cookie. Well,
Yes.
it's everybody's favorite cookie.
Oh,
In fact, tomorrow it's going to be at PS 19, because one of my daughters is
My cookies are going to be at PS 19.
And so, yes, my grandchildren,
you.
my children, we're all Carla Hall.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, Carla, sorry. When you have time off, what do you like to do? What's your favorite thing to do?
When I have time off, what do I like to do? I love going to the movies. So I'm a big moviegoer. My husband and I both. We like going to the movies. In the spring, I like theater. So I go to the theater a lot, which I love being here in New York City, and the Wednesday matinees, because, you know, a little thrifty I am. And the theater's expensive, right? It's expensive. So, you know, anytime they ask me that, oh, we have free tickets. Ah! I want the tickets. I like to rollerblade. So do you like to rollerblade too?
No.
I don't know. I was gonna say, girl, let's go. But yeah, I love dance. I like to